I wanted to start by just giving a quick update on the North Bay fires and start by saying that our heart goes out to all those who have had lost loved ones in the North Bay. It's been an extremely tragic event for all of those communities in the surrounding area. It's been so devastating for people that have lost lives and property. And being so close here in San Rafael, we've been impacted in some ways, and I just wanted to talk about those briefly. I think it's difficult to run into any city employee that hasn't been touched in some way, either through having had to evacuate their own home, which we've had several, or providing services, working with a family member that had to evacuate or even lost a home, or even just checking in on families or loved ones. So almost everyone has been impacted in some way since we're so close to this tragedy. And I know the council's aware, but I'm not sure the public knows that city staff played a pretty significant role in the response. We tried to say yes every single time we were asked to support in any way, and then we also tried to anticipate needs during the time where it was too chaotic even for requests to be coming to us. So I'm really proud of our staff in that. I want to formally recognize the members of our public safety departments for police and fire. And as you know, like every time that there's a major disaster or an event and people are fleeing it, we have firefighters and police officers running and converging into the area. So I couldn't be more proud of the response of our employees that were both attacking the fire and also keeping things safe, both people and property. And then while all that is going on to our north, we also have San Rafael to be thinking about as well. So we're making sure that everything here is running smoothly at that same time. We also had employees from every department that responded when we sent out requests for help. There was a very large evacuation center at the Marin Center, and I want to thank the County of Marin for handling that so well. So we had employees that were helping and staffing that evacuation center. You probably saw the Marin IJ article about our employees doing story time and providing entertainment to kids at the evacuation center. And then there was one evening where we thought for sure that we would have to open up our own shelter at one of our facilities. And we had about 2 hours to go from morning to have the doors open, and we did have them open. We had about 25 of our city staff volunteers there that night, which ended up not being needed that particular evening, but just a fantastic response from all of our employees who were just set to go with that shelter or anything else that were asked of them at any time. We had an employee from the city manager's office, one that's actually still in Santa Rosa assisting, and another from DPW that was assisting the City of Santa Rosa's Emergency Operations Center regarding public information. And I'm going to ask both Chief Bishop and Chief Gray to join me and just give you a few words from their perspective, so if they can come down. But I wanted to also let you know that beyond ongoing need from fire and police personnel, we're getting some requests now for other specialties that we have at the city, such as building inspection or planning. And just this afternoon, we heard that those requests have been made and we've responded, and we are sending people up in those areas as well. So lastly, I just want to thank these two people to my left, which were fantastic through this event and continue to be, and ask them to say a few words about their departments.
Good evening, everyone, and members, 10 members of the public. Sorry, they're watching on TV. There you go. So it has been quite a all hands on deck for a lot of police departments in the Bay Area, but specifically ours. I think we have so many friends and family and employees who actually live in Sonoma County, so people were chomping at the bit to go help our neighbors. Just to give you the scope of what we've been doing since last Monday morning when we were asked to provide anything that we could provide to them, we have done 77 shifts of 13 hours each up in mostly Santa Rosa, but parts of the city of Sonoma as well. So it's over 1,000 hours that we've put in up there, and we've done everything from be at a fixed post, making people not go into an unsafe area, to getting a garden hose and putting out flames if we could, and just anything that we could do, we were glad to do. I'm really proud of our department, and we will do it any time for anyone, because that's what we do, and it's heartfelt too. When you feel so that you can't do anything, it helps us to be able to try to help a little bit. So we've been doing that, and I just want to say that I was up there for a bit, up in Sonoma and Glen Ellen, and I've always really admired firefighters, and we joke a lot about it, but what they do and how long they do it and the physical exertion and the danger that they put themselves into is remarkable, and it was awe-inspiring, and I'll never forget seeing it. So my hat's off to all of them.
Thank you, Chief Bishop, members of City Council, and our community. This is what we would call the big one. I think when we ask the question, are you ready for wildfire? This is likely not what the communities in the North Bay had anticipated. This was a firestorm. History has repeated itself. This type of fire occurred actually in 1964 in a similar way. What was added were people and more buildings and more vegetation. And it's the fury of Mother Nature combined with those elements it really is a deadly combination. As the city manager mentioned, our hearts go out to everyone that suffered losses. Obviously, many of these circumstances are well beyond our ability and control, despite our capacity to deal with this. Currently, there are nearly 10,000 firefighters on the scene, over 1,000 engine companies. Really, it's an all-out effort. This incident will be studied, analyzed, and recorded in the history books. And I'm hopeful, much like other incidents, we learn from this. I was extraordinarily proud of all of our people. They worked voluntarily. Everyone wanted to go. Everyone that didn't stayed here and supported both our community and their loved ones and friends. This is a time when, obviously, with the losses associated with it and how quickly this fire spread, the rescuers became evacuees along with the rest of their neighbors, and just a very, very dynamic fire that we still don't know the outcome. There are many people still missing, and I'm hopeful that's resolved. But this is a life-changing incident that will play out for years to come. The fires will go out. We're still actively engaged in firefighting. I just met a few minutes ago with part of our contingent. We have 3 engines essentially on the north and south complexes that are in Sonoma and Napa. And we have an additional engine company that is up in Mendocino fighting those fires. So we still have 4 engines out. And if you think about it, and as we've often talked about, we maintain a reserve fleet. This is one of those times when you maintain a reserve fleet. We had 5 engines out and a medical unit actually making transportation for both hospitals, residential care facilities, and assisted living facilities everywhere from Santa Rosa to Sebastopol to San Francisco during the heat of this on Monday and Tuesday. So just a very significant event. Couldn't be more proud of everyone. Unfortunately, in addition to the civilian casualties, there was a firefighter casualty today. It's remarkable, given the number of people and the actions that were undertaken, that we've not seen more of that. So I think that's really a lesson in safety and communication and improvements that have been made over the years, because this was and remains a disastrous fire. I think from all accounts, they hope to have full containment on October 20th. The weather is a huge factor, as you've seen and watched likely via the media. But we expect rainfall on Thursday, and sometimes that's what it really takes, a turn in the weather. Despite our best efforts, we're just up against the most powerful foe. And anyway, again, thanks for your support along the way. Very proud of all of our people here on the fire lines and at home, taking care of both their family and friends. So it was just, as has been mentioned, an all-hands effort. And I'm hopeful will not be certainly repeated in my career nor others. It's just a devastating set of circumstances. I'm looking forward to the fires going out and really tragedy turning into triumph, healing, recovery, and rebuilding that will go on. But life-changing event. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Maybe before the chiefs leave, appreciate both of you coming up and talking about this. I know everybody is completely heartsick. I think that's just the best word for what's gone on in the community. And I always knew our community would come through and support our neighbors to the north, and absolutely they did that and then went above and beyond. And we're all grateful and proud. And we keep saying that, but it's true. It's really representative of how we are as both a community in San Rafael, but a greater community as the North Bay. My question is, what if people are still interested in helping out, either volunteering or donating? I mean, I know some of the resources I've seen online, but I'd be curious what the three of you might suggest.
I can mention there are resources. American Red Cross is accepting both donations and in-person assistance through volunteers. CVNL locally, people can still sign up for that. And then even people can volunteer with the city and both the county and assist. Also, both the communities of Santa Rosa and Sonoma are still actively expressing interest in volunteers and donations, but it's got to be targeted. It becomes very difficult to manage a lot of spontaneous activity when you're still in the midst of the fight, so to speak. But there's just a tremendous outpouring, and I think it's really going well. I don't know about you, but I'll also express that I think if you were walking on the street today, versus over a week ago, I think you see a different community. I think you see different expressions and interest in each other, and it just really brings out the best in humanity. And for that, I'm very proud.
And Mayor Pro Tem, the only thing I'd add to that is if members of the community want to do something positive, that looking at either our Get Ready program or any of the Get Ready programs around Marin, or the CERT program. The Get Ready might be for those who are looking for what they can do around their home. It's a smaller investment of time. CERT is a longer course, but I think it's readymarin.org. Is that correct, Chief?
Yes, and we have a CERT class scheduled. They can go on readymarin.org and sign up for that. We're going to be adding an extra class because, lo and behold, it has become very popular all of a sudden. So
Yes.
we're actually able to conduct that Get Ready class 2 hours. We can go out to the community. So if it's a neighborhood group, a small business group, we can certainly do that. And then we are going to be adding classes as needed. So thank you.
Thank you, because I think it's that type of reminder that sometimes spurs people to action. So appreciate that. Thank you.